It was a Sunday afternoon when my life, as I knew it, started to crack. My wife, Rebecca, sat on the couch, her fingers absent-mindedly tracing the rim of her coffee mug, the one with the faded logo from the calf we used to visit every weekend before our schedules tightened. Her face was a little pale, but I thought nothing of it. I attributed it to a lack of sleep, or maybe just the stress from work. "Are you okay?" I asked, eyes lingering on her face for a moment longer than usual. I was genuinely concerned, but there was nothing in her demeanor that screamed emergency. She nodded, her lips curling into a thin, tight smile. "Yeah, just tired." Her voice sounded distant, like she was somewhere else. But I didn't push. The thing with Rebecca was that she had a way of keeping everything in, and as much as I knew I should be worried, I didn't let it bother me. Not yet. It all started with the phone calls. There were more of them than usual, long, whispered conversations that I couldn't quite make out. I noticed it first when I came home early one afternoon. Rebecca was in the kitchen, but as soon as she saw me, she quickly ended a call. Her face turned a shade of red. I didn't recognize. "Who was that?" I asked, my voice casual, but my mind already filling with questions. "No one important," she said, too quickly, too convincingly. I let it slide, but the doubt had already lodged itself in my mind. Over the next few days, it grew like a slow-burning fire I couldn't extinguish. Rebecca was distant in a way I couldn't quite place. She didn't laugh at my jokes anymore, and when she did talk, her words lacked warmth. There was a coldness in her eyes that hadn't been there before. The real turning point came on a Wednesday morning. She was late getting out of bed. I always left for work early, but that morning, I stayed a little longer, leaning over to kiss her goodbye. Her body was stiff, her breath shallow. There was a subtle tremor in her hand as she brushed her hair back, but it wasn't the tremor of a sickness. It was something else, something unsettling. I asked her if she was feeling okay again, but she just nodded and told me to go. That afternoon, I received the call from the hospital. I almost dropped my phone when I heard the words, "Rebecca was admitted to the emergency room for a sudden condition, and I needed to come immediately." Panic surged in my chest, and my thoughts scrambled in every direction. What could have happened? I rushed out of my office, not even bothering to explain to anyone. By the time I arrived, she was in a room hooked up to machines. The doctors said they weren't sure what triggered it. A mysterious condition, they called it. A condition that made her body fight against itself. Her immune system was attacking her organs, and the doctors weren't sure if she was going to make it through the night. 2 weeks in the hospital. 2 weeks of uncertainty. And all I could do was wait. I stayed by her side the entire time. As she lay unconscious in the sterile, white hospital room, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. The days blurred together, and the only thing that kept me grounded was the hope that she would wake up. But even when she did, she seemed different. Hollow. She told me it was the drugs, medications for her condition. That it made her feel detached, numb. But as the days dragged on, I began to wonder if the coldness wasn't in her just eyes from the medication. Maybe it was something deeper. Something I had missed. Then I found the note. It was tucked under her pillow, so carefully hidden that I almost missed it. I unfolded the piece of paper, my hands shaking. The words were scribbled hastily, as if the writer had been rushing. "I'm sorry, I don't know how to fix this. But it's over. Please understand, I never meant for it to get this far." It wasn't written by Rebecca. It was written by someone else. My mind reeled. Who had written this? Who had she been with? Was I losing my mind, or was something truly amiss? My stomach churned, but I shoved the note into my pocket, hoping it was just a mistake. But I knew deep down I couldn't ignore it. I had to find out. Over the next few days, I started digging. Small things at first. Texts left open on her phone when she fell asleep. The timestamps on the messages. The odd location she visited that I couldn't recognize. I began to put the pieces together. following the trail of breadcrumbs like a man on a mission. The first clue was the name. A man named James kept appearing in her texts. At first, I dismissed it, assuming it was a work colleague or an old friend. But then I found an email exchange, one that wasn't quite as professional as it should have been. The tone of their messages, it was flirtatious, intimate even. I should have confronted her then. But I couldn't. Not yet. Not until I knew everything. I visited the hospital again that afternoon, pretending to be the loving husband who was just relieved to have her back. But my mind was already racing, turning over every possible scenario. The more I uncovered, the clearer it became. She had been having an affair. I had no proof, but the pieces fit. She had been seeing someone behind my back for months, maybe longer. And now, this condition, this mysterious illness, felt like an excuse. Something to cover up what had really been going on. My plan was simple. I would confront her, catch her in the act, and make her face the consequences. I was going to take everything back. Everything she had stolen from me. And then, when it was over, I would walk away stronger, better free. I waited for the perfect moment. She was still weak from the hospitalization, but she had been getting better. I couldn't risk confronting her too soon. So I bided my time watching her closely. Every little action, every glance, every move. Nothing felt right, and yet I needed to push forward. I wanted the truth, no matter how much it hurt. One night, when she fell asleep beside me, I went through her things again. This time, I found a more damning piece of evidence. A plane ticket to a remote city I didn't recognize, dated for the day before her hospitalization. I felt sick to my stomach. This was it. I couldn't run from it any longer. I had to confront her face, her lies head-on, and reclaim my dignity. That night, after she came home from her final round of hospital checks, I couldn't hold back any longer. We were sitting in the living room, the soft hum of the city outside the window. The quiet was deafening. "Who's James?" I asked, my voice steady, but edged with a sharpness I couldn't hide. Her eyes darted around her lips, parting as if to speak, unsure how to begin. I watched her, waiting for the truth to come spilling out. She hesitated, biting her lip, then seemed to gather her thoughts. "I didn't want to hurt you. Did you think I wouldn't find out? That I wouldn't see the signs?" I couldn't control my voice now. It cracked with emotion, the weight of betrayal crushing me. "I never wanted to hurt you, Jimmy," she said, her voice trembling. "But I've been struggling for a long time with myself. With us. James is someone who understood me when I needed it more than your husband did." I shot back, my heart racing in my chest. Her face fell. "I didn't mean for it to happen. I wasn't thinking." And then, I found myself trapped in it. I felt a fire ignite inside me. The anger, the betrayal that bubbled to the surface, but I fought it back. I didn't need to lose myself in rage. I needed to reclaim what was mine. I stood up, my hands clenched at my sides. "You don't get to decide when it's over. You don't get to hurt me, and then expect me to just walk away." Her eyes welled up with tears, but I couldn't find it in me to comfort her. "Not anymore. I'm done," I said, turning to walk away. And as I left the room, the weight of it, all crashing down on me, I knew there was no going back. I moved out the next day. I left everything behind, and I never looked back. Rebecca faced the consequences of her actions, and though part of me wished I could forgive her, I realized that some wounds ran too deep to heal. I didn't need to take revenge. I had already won. I had my peace. And as the days passed, I rebuilt myself. Stronger. Wiser. No longer the man she thought I was. I had learned that betrayal may break you, but it also makes you whole again.